The restaurant was quiet enough that I could hear the clink of glasses before I saw her. I had only stopped by because my coworker insisted the cafe served the best coffee in town. I wasn't expecting to find my girlfriend sitting by the window, laughing at something another man had whispered across the table. Her hand rested on his, and the smile on her face was one I thought belonged only to me. For a second, I convinced myself there had to be an explanation. Maybe he was family. Maybe it was business. Maybe I was overreacting. Then he leaned forward and kissed her fingers. The world seemed to freeze. I walked toward their table before my mind had a chance to stop me. She looked up, and the color drained from her face. Ethan. The man glanced between us, confused. I swallowed the lump in my throat. So, I said, my voice surprisingly calm. This is why you've been too busy to see me. Silence. The waiter stopped nearby, sensing something was wrong. The stranger slowly pulled his hand away from hers. Claire, he asked carefully, who is this? She closed her eyes for a brief moment. Then she whispered the words that would stay with me forever. I wish you hadn't found out like this. A bitter laugh escaped me. Really? That's your first sentence. She stood so quickly her chair scraped across the floor. Ethan, please. No, I interrupted. Answer his question. The stranger looked increasingly uncomfortable. Claire. She took a shaky breath. He's my boyfriend. His expression changed instantly. What? I was going to tell you. When? I asked. Next week? Next month? After you got engaged to him? It's not like that. It looks exactly like that. The man stood. Claire, you told me you were single. She covered her face. I know. You lied to me. I didn't know how to end things. I stared at her. So you decided not to. Tears formed in her eyes. It wasn't supposed to happen. Cheating usually isn't. The stranger picked up his jacket. I think I should leave. No, I said. He paused. You didn't do anything wrong. He looked at Claire with disbelief. I asked you 3 times if there was someone else. She couldn't meet his eyes. I know. You said no. I know. He let out a slow breath. I don't even recognize the person standing in front of me. Without another word, he walked away. Claire watched him disappear through the front door before turning back to me. I'm sorry. I shook my head. You don't get to use those words like they're a bandage. I never wanted to hurt you. But you did. I was scared. So was I. She blinked. What? I was scared every time you canceled our plans. Every time you stopped answering my messages. Every time I wondered whether I had done something wrong. My voice finally cracked. And all that time, it wasn't me. Her tears spilled freely now. I didn't know how to tell you. You could have started with the truth. She reached for my hand. I stepped back. The movement hurt her more than any insult could have. I still love you. I smiled sadly. I believe you. Hope flickered in her eyes. But love without honesty isn't enough. She began crying harder. We can fix this. I looked around the restaurant. Every conversation had stopped. People were pretending not to stare. There isn't anything left to fix. You don't mean that. I do. She shook her head desperately. Please don't leave. I already lost you. You chose that. For the first time since I'd walked in, she had no answer. Only silence. The kind that arrives after every excuse has been used. I reached into my pocket and pulled out the small velvet box I'd been carrying for 3 days. Her eyes widened. Ethan, I was going to ask you to marry me this weekend. She gasped. The ring caught the light as I held it between us. I kept wondering why you seemed so distant. A tear slid down my cheek. I thought maybe planning the proposal was making me nervous. She covered her mouth, horrified. Oh my God. Instead of opening the box, I placed it gently on the table. It belongs to the future I thought we had. Then I turned around. Behind me I heard sobbing. My name. Footsteps that never caught up. I didn't look back. Some endings don't need one last conversation. They need one last goodbye. When I stepped outside, the evening air felt cold against my skin, but for the first time in months, my heart was no longer trapped between doubt and hope. It was broken, yes, but it finally knew the truth. And sometimes, the truth hurts far less than a beautiful lie.